Dear Sophia, I was going through this book. This is the world's greatest short stories. This has 70 of the world's greatest short stories. I will talk about today the four magic words. The four magic words are not abracadabra and open sesame from the old stories, but they are once upon a time. The moment you say to another person once upon a time, the attention, the curiosity, the forward thinking lightens up. That is the power of storytelling. The storytelling is a critical skill. In fact, the leaders in the world, they tell stories of a future which is better. And if you are able to sell the story, you have won the battle and people join you. There are great stories in the world. We have read some stories together. Genti, Gentu, I remember the Cranes Came Home and many others that we read together. Today I will speak about the power of storytelling. The description of a certain thing, for example, a girl going into a forest, is factual. But the moment you change it to saying a girl 7-year-old wearing pink frock and feeling excited goes to a forest with tall pine scented trees and a windy day in UK. The whole narrative changes. That is the power of stories. When we build a story, we talk about a character, we talk about a situation, we talk about a conflict, and we talk about change. So character, conflict and change, they are three essential part of any story. Whatever stories you have read, for example, when we read the story of the Cranes Came Home, the Cranes were the character and the conflict was they were lost, and then the change was they came back home. So all stories are built around this. When you grow up, you will read many interesting stories. I like particularly the Alice in Wonderland stories. I liked to read a lot of short stories. I read a lot of novels, and I still feel there is magic in these stories. And you would be surprised, some people have storytelling as their profession. I remember there was a famous storyteller, and I used to hear his stories on the FM channel while traveling from Delhi to Chandigarh. He would narrate stories in a way that the stories came to life. I could feel that what he was, when he was speaking, I could connect with the situation, I could feel the situation, I could feel the character, I could feel the emotions. That is the power of storytelling. When you grow up, you will need this power of storytelling as a leader and as a person who wants to create more impact on the society. Today I will only focus on a small story which is very useful in our lives. I learned it late in my life, but you can keep it with you forever. Now, in this story, there is a king, and he has just lost a war. There has been a bloodshed, and he was attacked by an enemy with the superior force, but he still defended his country, and he is happy about it. And the people are celebrating his success. Now, the king has a question in mind. While he is happy, but he is also afraid of the future. So he calls his minister and tells him, I want one line which describes the reality of the world, makes me happy when I am sad, makes me sad when I am happy. Now, this is a very funny situation. The king posed a problem which is in a way queer, which says, make me sad when I am happy and make me happy when I am sad. So, what do you think could have been the answer? So, there was a big contest in the kingdom, and lot of people came up with one line. This was the requirement, but nothing succeeded. Till a saint came across once and told the king that I will be able to tell you that line. So king called the big gathering of his people, and the saint is called, and the king asks him, tell me what is in your mind about my question. So he says, my sentence is, this too shall pass. Which means, if you are in a happy situation and you hear this too shall pass, you will feel, oh my, that means this happiness will go. And if you are sad, then you hear this too shall pass, and you say, oh, so I can pass through this with ease. So that is the power of this story, and this is a very useful story. So the king put these words in a paper and put it into his ring, and studded a diamond on the top of this line in his ring. After many years, he won a war, very big war, and there was again a lot of celebration in his kingdom. And when the procession of celebration was going, he suddenly saw his ring and he remembered, this too shall pass, and from celebration he became neutral. So this is a very small story but very powerful story. This can be our companion forever. Whenever you are very happy, remember this too shall pass, and whenever you are very sad because of anything, remember this too shall pass. And now the Baba task for you. Think of something in your house. It could be a flower, it could be a cloth, or it could be a piece of paper. Think of a story around it. And when we meet, tell me that story. In fact, in our country, India particularly, there is a long tradition of storytelling. I would say, even when men were not living in houses and they were in forests, they would sit together and light a fire and tell stories to each other, which was one way of sharing learning, which was one way of creating fun, and which was one way of community building. And from then onwards, the grandma stories, the grandpa stories, and the Panchtantra stories, we'll talk about many of these in coming days. And please do write a small story about anything. I also remember there was this famous author, Ernest Hemingway, and there was a contest in the cafe he was sitting. The contest was write a story in 6 words. And he funnily wrote something which actually was a very admirable story. The 6 words were, baby shoes for sale, never worn. So, baby shoes never worn for sale. So you can imagine behind these 6 words there is a whole story. That is the power of story, and that is the power of storytelling. Till we meet again, love you.